Sonata number 6 by David Hine. I've really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed the first arc of it, and this is starting a new arc where one of the races that's on the new planet, is trying to is more warlike, and rebels have taken them over, and I don't know. It's hard to say because it's a new arc, but you really should read the first 5 issues. Even though I got this first issue of the new arc, I think I'm going to switch to trades there. I'm slowly trying to transition to trades in general and to read older stuff. The floppies, they're just costing too much, and I don't think I enjoy them as much, to be honest. I like a more full story. I don't want to wait 6 months. I also don't like one-shots, by the way. I don't like it when comics are all a story in one little floppy here. So we'll see. Here, just got done reading the first chapter of a Jin. This is a library book. I read the first one. It's manga. I read the first one and didn't, the first volume, and didn't love it. I wasn't gonna read it anymore, but it was okay. It wasn't bad. It was just something I'd read before. And then while I was in Poland, I found volume 2 in Polish. So one of those things that will help me with those. So what I did was I read the English chapter first, and then read the Polish first chapter. Actually, it would be the 6th chapter, since this is volume 2. Normally what I would do is read the Polish chapter first, read the English chapter, then read the Polish chapter again, which is probably what I'll start continuing to do again. It's pretty good. It's about a group of people that can't die, and then all of the stuff that surrounds that, the secret society that's created, the people who want to capture them, and then of course the main protagonist is, I forget his name. The main protagonist is of course new to it and is learning it as he goes, and finding out he can't really trust very many people. So anyway, that's Jin. Hey, it is Monday night, and I guess I'm done with my reading for the day. Got a little bit farther in The Man of Property by John Galsworthy. Like I said before, a cool book about sort of the British high class in the mid-1800s. I got to the part that I knew from the first book. I mean, I guess I'm going to spoil a 200-year-old book for you guys, but so the husband ends up raping his wife, that doesn't want to be with him, but because of high society and all that, they can never get together. And he had been paying the architect who was doing it to make their house and stuff like that. I guess it sounds sort of soap opera-y, but it's really like not the opposite of Dickens in writing style, but the opposite of Dickens in the portrayal of London in that vaguely that same era where Dickens was with a bunch of kids in working in factories, and this is a bunch of rich people with their ideas and their superiority and stuff, and then this kind of thing happens. So very good. I'm about 75, maybe 50 pages in, so hopefully I finish that tomorrow. Really enjoyed it, but I've been reading it for so long because I only read it at certain points. So very good, long, those nice big Victorian secrets. That's my dishwasher draining. Hopefully it's not too loud. Then I finished up volume 2 of The Boys. Of course, huge Garth Ennis fan, but very embarrassed I never really read this. Then, of course, the HBO show comes out, so I wanted to make sure I was on it. I don't see the HBO show following volume 2 at all. There's like a story that involves homosexuality and sort of a murder mystery there, and then a really funny Russian story that was actually very good. This is a lot more episodic than the TV show, or than most comics are now. So even though there's a general connection that they're trying to get, take down Homelander and Von American or whatever, you get these, it feels a lot more episodic, where you really could just jump into, at least so far, any of the arcs, and there were 2 in this one, so it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna give Boys a rest now and read volume 3 maybe in a couple months. I want to finish up Red Team by Garth Ennis, and then I'll probably give Garth Ennis a little bit of a rest. And then I read, I think this is the last City of Bane book from Batman, from the Batman series, and then we're gonna have 3 more issues of Tom King on actual Batman, and then he's gonna do his thing. So art was cool in this. I liked it. It was interesting. It's a big fight scene, but a lot of stuff's culminating, and then some interesting stuff happens at the end. That's a little bit of a spoiler. But Tom King's Batman. Hey guys, this is the reading I did on Tuesday, hanging out with my son over here. He's relaxing, drinking coffee. You have a book too? You have a book? Anyway, this is my reading. Only read one comic on Tuesday. It was Invisible Kingdom by G. Willow Wilson and Christian Ward. Beautiful painting in here. It is a new arc, and I love this. I mean, I've been on and off with G. Willow Wilson, but I really liked this series, and I like where this arc is going, especially to find out more about one of the races that's winning. In Man of Property. You have my Kindle. In Man of Property, you should give that to Daddy. Thank you. in the Hen of Property. We've gotten to the dark part, and John Galsworthy sort of handles that sort of darker part with a lot of tact. Today, it would be a very intense rape scene, but as much as you can, he handles it with tact. Now, we're sort of in the aftermath of that. I guess unhappy women and marriages is one of his themes throughout his books, but I'm at that last 50 pages or so. If I go to the gym today, I'll probably finish it up. And then a Jin, reading this slowly because I'm reading in English and Polish, and this is pretty good. It's hard to tell who's who, or who the protagonist can trust. He has a lot of people he can't trust, and I've enjoyed that. But the reading goes really slow. But I do read every chapter 3 times, just in a language I don't understand as well. And then last but not least, not last. There's 2 audiobooks I listen to. Thrawn has been very good, and I'm gonna sit down next to me. Sit down. Thrawn has been very good, and this means bye-bye. And I really like the characters, the side characters in it, because Thrawn is a little bit almost OP with how smart he is. And then I'm also reading Grit by Angela Duckworth, who, Grit is defined by your perseverance towards long-term goals, essentially. And I re-listened to the first chapter, and it is definitely one of my favorite books. It's probably the most inspiring thing to me as far as to read, as far as like business books, self-help stuff like that. It's by a psychologist, and there's a lot of studies behind it, and that's Grit by Angela Duckworth. So I'll be talking a lot about that as I go on, but it was just the intro chapter showing how a lot of the army and spelling bee and intelligent people really, their success is based on working hard and reaching their potential.